I'm Matt Golden.
I'm Tyler St. Clair, and you're rocking with Press Play Live.
Now, you've been in Detroit for 2 years now, Matt. Basically, give or take. And I've been seeing I've lived in Detroit, like all my life. And I remember my mom used to tell me about how beautiful, and I'm sure that you have heard stories or participated in just the whole Motor City and Motown.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And, they had the riots, and now it's coming, everybody say Detroit is coming back. It's this whole redevelopment that's happening and taking place. And some people talk about it being like a gentrification situation that's going on where white people coming back to the city and they're going to raise the taxes so that people can't afford it, and it's going to be something not quite the same, because I don't think it'll ever be the same with like 2 million people to where it is, but you definitely see a lot of progression that's happening. And you moved to the city, so what do you think about that?
Man, I'm learning a lot. A lot of it gets jumbled up in my head trying to figure out, because when I moved into the city, I didn't even consider that. Like, I didn't really I still don't fully know what gentrification means. It feels like this moving target definition to me. Like, everybody kind of has their own spin on it, but the way I understand gentrification to be is people move into an area on top of, almost by way of the changes in the economy that come from that, like tax base and stuff like that, end up forcing those people out, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Like, just the way things go, people can't hang out anymore.
I guess that's the indirect part, which is what you're saying, and I'm glad you said that to clarify, because like you said, the gentrification part is just, hey, it's affordable to stay here and we see things that's happening, let's jump in on this too. Even if we can afford it or not. I mean, not just white people, but wealthy individuals. But indirectly, the flip side of that is, like you said, some of those people being forced to, and I guess I'm touching on that part because that's just been a indirect conversation among a lot of people, and I'm sure a lot of Thanksgiving dinners and Christmas dinners where, when Detroit and the comeback, quote unquote, of Detroit, all these white people coming here,
Yeah, there's a lot of other coming to Detroit too.
Oh yeah.
It ain't just people that look like me. I mean, there's a lot of multicultural, multi-ethnic people moving to the city of Detroit. So people got a tendency to lump people in. But I was talking to someone earlier today, as far as like and even Tyler here earlier, is like, at what point is something so vacant that it disqualifies itself for gentrification? Like, it's just so empty. You stop worrying about gentrification so much, and we just need population. So I think you got to consider that question. However, on both sides of the fence, people that are here watching people move in, right, watching people move in and do things, need to proceed with caution with chucking stones too fast.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to look, you need to look at it like, this could improve the systems in my city, and because when you move into an area, you should be moving in with the mindset of not what do I get out of this, but what am I bringing to this? Like, I need to live in the community for the community.
Right.
So if that's your mindset, you're like, okay, how do I come alongside? So I think that's the mindset for people that need to be here. And anybody that isn't like that, I mean, you don't say good riddance to anyone. I mean, people matter, but people need to. My hope is that people would have that mind about them. Like, how do I make myself a part of this? How do I get to celebrate the fact that Detroit's coming back alongside? And then for people who are moving in, you don't just bulldoze, man. You don't just come in and say, I've got a plan to revitalize this city, and you're not of the city. You don't take into account the opinions of the people who are indigenous to here. Like, the majority of people, like, your ear's not open to what those who have lived here for decades want to see happen. If you got money, power, influence, and ideas, you have to hear the needs of the people. You can't just assume on them. Otherwise, you are forcing them out, because you're deaf to them. You're just waiting for them to fall off so that you can move forward with your plan. And I think that's really hard to do. I don't have an answer. I just, thankfully, I'm just like, man, I want to love the people next door to me. Like, I want to be a good neighbor to people, So it's simple for me, but on a big level, like, the discussions are important for me to understand there's two sides to it.
So.
How do we knock
was,
that out in bullet point fashion? I don't.
Yeah, no, that was great, and just addressing both sides is great too. I mean, you know, like you said, the approach and the intention at the end of the day is what really counts, and people need to look at it as a positive thing. Yeah. But you know, I guess Detroit, it's taken so long, and the past generation just didn't get a chance to see that, and they've experienced, you know, everything going downwards. Yeah. So they got their guard up, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I don't know the nuts and bolts of how things work to, like, you know, city permits. I mean, how you got this all together, like how we got the church going. Like, I'm ignorant to a lot of that stuff. But I mean, I hear people talk of their experiences, and that's what I listen to. And I mean, you know, you have people that talk about how, you know, we're in the city floundering, like things are bad. Like, we feel like we can't get a leg up, like we're not able to get things to help us. And then, I'm gonna stop on that. But it's just interesting to me. The big thing is like people coming in wanting to bulldoze and kind of force their will on things. Yeah. It's a lot like, I see this as untapped land, and I'm gonna go claim it for myself.
That sounds familiar.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like I always, my thing is, the past and the present deserve a seat at the table and an equal voice when it comes to discussing the future. Yeah. Right? So we need to think about, whoa, where does this, that sounds familiar. Yeah. That was bad. Yeah. Sure, the good things happen, but that was bad. That's a stain. So anyway.
Yeah, my quick 2 seconds on that is, you know, piggyback what he said, it all depends on each individual person's agenda. I know people who have nothing but pure motives. Like, I believe my man has nothing but pure motives. He wants to be a good neighbor. He wants to share the light of Christ in his neighborhood and many others. I'm with that 150%. But there are people who have territorial motives. There are people who are coming in like vultures. And I believe that just being a Detroiter my whole life, Detroit has culture, has rich history, and is not to be thrown away. It's not to be, okay, that's the past. No, I mean, even in new churches coming to Detroit, you know, I tell people all the time, there is so much rich Christian gospel music, so much rich heritage that we can't just throw away because now we're doing new things. And the same thing with the city. What are your agenda? Do you want to come and be an asset to the city, or you want to just come and, similar to the people who just see abandoned houses and just strip the copper off? That's what a lot of people come into the city. Okay. So it's just each individual person, you know.
You want to put Jay up on the terminology?
We can do that.
The eggs and max?
Yeah, we were talking. This whole, you know, the rapper Macklemore, he was talking a lot about white privilege.
Did you see the Hot 97 interview?
I may have caught it.
Macklemore and.
Yeah, he was basically saying, you know.
If I didn't, because I watch a lot of those, I'm gonna go back and check it out. But I may have seen it.
It was dope because he was basically saying, look, I'm a white man from Seattle. And
no, I didn't. I'm sorry, I didn't. But I am gonna go check that out.
And he was basically saying, look, you know, and I think he marched at the Eric Gardner situation, but he's basically saying, look, I'm ignorant. I'm in hip hop culture. I'm a guest. I really don't belong here, but I'm here, and I want to learn. I'm gonna shut my mouth shut.
I'm a welcome guest, but I am a guest.
I'm a welcome guest, but I'm a guest nonetheless. As opposed to, on the contrary, people who like Iggy Azalea, for example, and others come in and just want to, I believe, just steal the culture